LA Rider is brought to you by the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign, a 501c3 nonprofit organization exclusively dedicated to promoting motorcycle awareness and rider safety throughout Louisiana and the nation.
I didn't see him.
She just came out of nowhere.
Oh, God, what am I gonna do?
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
See us. Watch for us.
Save us.
Nearly two-thirds of all motorcycle fatalities are caused by distracted and inattentive drivers. Please, watch for motorcycles.
Hello and welcome to LA Rider, Louisiana's only television show devoted entirely to motorcycle lifestyles, travel, and adventure. I'm T.W. Robinson and we're so excited you're joining us today. This week, we take a look at the booming three-wheel motorcycle market and introduce you to the newest ride in our garage, a hot new Harley-Davidson Freewheeler. Then we take a break from our three-wheel riding and have lunch at one of South Louisiana's finest River Road restaurants. All this and much more coming up on this edition of LA Rider. So kickstands up, everyone. It's time to take a ride. Welcome once again. I'm TW and this is LA Rider. I don't know if you've noticed, but there are a lot more three-wheelers out on the road these days. The trike business is bigger and better than ever. There are dozens of companies that specialize in trike kits and conversions, and 3 manufacturers are offering factory-built three-wheelers. Looks like the day of the motor trike has come. Three-wheel motorcycles have been around for about as long as two-wheelers. In fact, one of the first production motorcycles was actually a three-wheeler and was introduced in 1898. Both Indian and Harley introduced motor trikes in the early 1930s. Indian's Dispatch Tow was first to market in 1931, but about a year later, Harley-Davidson introduced their Servacar. The Servacar was discontinued in 1973. Shortly after, however, a number of specialty companies began offering trike conversion kits and custom-built three-wheelers. Trikes quickly became popular with aging and disabled bikers, as well as women riders who were looking for a more stable platform. So in 2008, Harley-Davidson teamed up with Lehman Trikes and added the Tri-Glide to their lineup. Then in 2015, the somewhat sportier Freewheeler was introduced. Today's trike market is booming, and with so many trikes on the road, we decided it was time for LA Rider to add a three-wheeler to its stable. Last year, we picked up a beautiful black 2023 Freewheeler from Warhawk Harley-Davidson in Monroe. Over the last 6 months, we've been adding a little bling to our new ride. Josh Velour at Law Enforcement Motorcycle Specialties added a number of enhancements, modifications, and cosmetic treatments to make this black beauty a bit more to my liking. Now, you know I like red, so we powder-coated the brake calipers and added red accents to all the bolts. The stock wheels were discarded and a set of SMT wheels added, including a 21-inch front rim, giving the front end a little more lift. A new Road King-style custom headlight nacelle from Bagger Nation was added, as well as some classy LED fog lights on the highway bar. We also installed heated grips, you know I hate cold hands, as well as custom Dynamics LED mirrors and Wild One 12-inch ape hangers, plus new mufflers from Cobra, and for easier mounting and dismounting, folding mid-steps from TMS. Well, Black Beauty sure looks fine standing still. Let's see how she rides. Riding a trike is not quite the same as riding a two-wheel motorcycle. Things like gyroscopic precession, counter steering, and leaning don't apply. And while many people turn to trikes because they are more stable, that stability can also work against you at times. Sure, they don't fall over when you come to a stop, but since they don't really lean, cornering can be a little trickier and require a lot more muscle. There are a few other things you may want to keep in mind when you're riding a trike. Obviously, it is a lot wider than a regular motorcycle, nearly 5 feet across at the rear. So when cornering, make sure your rear wheels don't cross the center line or drift over into the shoulder. Riding side by side or in the typical staggered formation is not recommended by the Motorcycle Safety Foundation. And while trikes appear to be more stable, they are not necessarily safer than two-wheel motorcycles. Taking corners too fast can actually cause one of the rear wheels to lift off the ground, something that can lead to loss of control. But once you get the hang of the differences, trikes can be just as much fun as regular motorcycles, and the three-wheel market is booming. Today, Harley offers 3 distinct trike models. And if you're looking for something a little different and less traditional, there is the popular Can-Am Spider and the Polaris Slingshot. Thinking about a trike? Stop thinking and start riding. We did. You too may be surprised just how much fun trikes can be. Not only are trikes fun to ride, but they're also fun to customize. And I don't think we've quite finished with Black Beauty. We'll keep you posted. By the way, all that trike riding made me hungry. Are you surprised? I can't wait to show you what I had for lunch. Stay with us. Roberto's River Road Restaurant is a place locals brag about and tourists have trouble finding. But believe me, once you find it, you'll be bragging about it like a local. Roberto's River Road Restaurant is located about 15 miles south of Baton Rouge on LA 75 in the old village of Sunshine, Louisiana, which now lies in the city limits of St. Gabriel. The 1850s clapboard building, which once housed the J.J. Laplace General Store, sits right next to the highway directly facing the Mississippi River levee. And while it may not look like much on the outside, this old building houses one of the area's most popular restaurants. We're at Roberto's on River Road, one of my favorite places in the whole world. And it's just kind of a nice little ride out here, not too far. But when you pass it, you get a hunger pain. The lunch menu at Roberto's features many of the restaurant's signature seafood dishes, as well as po' boys, hamburgers, and salads, plus daily specials, too. I couldn't get past the appetizers. Oh, goodness, it all looks so good. I don't know what to think. But before getting down to business, I chose one of the restaurant's specialty appetizers, eggplant crab cakes set in Roberto's beurre blanc and finished with dill hollandaise. Yum! It's almost too pretty to eat. But I'm gonna force myself. Wow. That's fabulous. Oh my goodness. Fabulous. Well, I'm off to a good start. I love it when they put a lot of sauce on it. I hadn't quite finished off my delicious crab cakes when my main course arrived. Pan-seared flounder topped with shrimp, along with risotto and green beans. Oh, that's wonderful. This flounder is fabulous. Oh my goodness. Look at that. How big that is. Whew. Well, it was a tough choice, but it was the right one. So good. I don't think there's going to be any room for key lime pie, but we'll see. Roberto's may be off the beaten path, and for some hard to find, but it is definitely worth looking for. In 2000, Roberto Sandoval was looking for a building to hold a catered dinner when he stumbled upon the old store. It had been abandoned for nearly a decade after the owner was shot and killed during a robbery. Sandoval and his wife Mary ended up buying the building and quickly turned it into a popular River Road destination, one famous for its Cajun and Creole delicacies. I'm so relaxed now that I got my tummy full. I'm about to have that key lime. That sugar will get me ready to go, ready to ride. Another thing Roberto's is popular for is its desserts. Even after crab cakes and flounder, I just had to have a slice of key lime pie, served with a couple of scoops of coconut gelato. Well, I did save room for pie. I love key lime pie. Oh my God. It's so good. Normally I don't have dessert, but I couldn't resist key lime pie. Oh, this is delicious. Now, I love key lime pie, but I could eat about a pint of that coconut gelato just by itself. The food at Roberto's is fabulous. The decor is a bit quirky, but fun. Besides the main dining area, there are a couple of smaller rooms to dine in, as well as a well-stocked and very cozy bar. Next time you take a ride on the River Road, pull over at Roberto's. I'm pretty sure you'll be glad you stopped. Roberto's is open Tuesday through Friday for lunch and dinner, and on Saturdays for dinner only. They are closed on Sunday and Monday. Check them out. I'm T.W. Robinson, and look at all the cars here at Goodwood Hardware. Dozens of beautiful vintage cars and trucks filled the parking lot for Goodwood Hardware's annual Coffee, Cars, and Community. Hundreds of people braved the summer heat to view an assortment of hot rods, muscle cars, and antique automobiles and trucks. There were motorcycles too, including Goodwood Hardware owner Shrimp Poboy's new ride, which Boyd saw for the first time at the show. Builder Rob Rangel of Road Dog Custom Motorcycles completed work on the bike that morning. The cobalt blue bike is a beautiful work of art, and Rangel says it has a very interesting legacy too.
This is just a project that I just finished. It took me about a year and a half. Originally, I got it. It was a bike that old Charlie Coyote had started on it 20 years ago, and it kind of sat on a table in his shop over in the corner, and he never really worked on it. Well, you know, as we know, he passed, so the owner here, Trent, he brought it over on that table and just total covered in rust and dirt and grime. So we disassembled the bike back down to the frame, repowder coated the frame, completely rebuilt the engine, rebuilt the transmission. Actually, this fender was something that Coyote had started working on that I finished. I wanted to leave that, you know, in his honor, you know, and the same thing with the handlebars that he had on here. But other than that, we've changed everything. It's got an original Harley Springer on it that we raked 5 degrees to give it a better stance. It's got the Legends air suspension in the back, performance machine hand controls, brakes, some really cool pipes from Bassani. I got rid of that horrible stock oil tank and custom fit a little round style oil tank in there. It was a really fun build. One of my favorites because of how easygoing Trent is. He brought it over to me on that table. He just said, dude, he says, I build outdoor kitchens, you build motorcycles. He said, so just do it the way you want to do it. I think he came to the shop once in that whole time while I was building it. And this is the first time he's actually seen it finished.
The bike is a definite showstopper, but Ringo says that like all his customs, this bike is built for the street. We're sure it'll turn a lot of heads every time Boyd takes it out for a ride.
I hope you like it, Coyote.
If you're heading to Larned, Mississippi, you better have a good set of directions or a good GPS, perhaps both. That's because the Hinds County, Mississippi town of Larned is a bit off the beaten path. Located just off the Natchez Trace Parkway, about 40 minutes south of Vicksburg, Larned only boasts a handful of structures and an official population of just 86. But on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights, the population literally quadruples because of one of those structures, H.D. Gibbs & Sons. H.D. Gibbs & Sons is an old country store, but on weekends beginning at 5 p.m., people start lining up on the porch and in the parking lot for steaks, seafood, and much more. Tammi invited Amanda and me to join her there for what she promised would be a very unusual dining experience. And it was. If you're craving a thick, juicy ribeye, filet, or New York strip, grilled over an open fire just the way you like it, along with a side of roasted green beans and a baked potato, then H.D. Gibbs & Sons is worth the trip and definitely worth the wait. They also do a good job with pork chops, lamb, tuna, salmon, scallops, and shrimp.
When I was here last time, I had both the lamb chop and the steak. And they both were phenomenal. But this time I decided that I was going to go the seafood route and get salmon, because I never get salmon. So let's see. That is sensational.
They serve up some killer desserts, too. One of them is appropriately called funeral brownies. We would show you a picture, but unfortunately, we pretty much devoured them before Bob could grab his camera.
Lord have mercy. I'm about to bust open like a can of biscuits. Look at this.
It was great.
Pants, girl. I'm telling you.
I tell you that all that food was delicious, but that dessert just blew me away.
Topped it off perfectly.
Oh my
There's a
God.
reason it's called funeral brownie.
Oh, okay.
It'll kill you. It is death by chocolate. But what a way to go.
So good. It was wonderful.
Y'all jog home.
We're gonna come.
Y'all-
Yeah, I'm coming back here, and I'm just getting the dessert. That was excellent.
That was delicious.
Let's go, girls.
All right.
You know what we always say? It's not the destination, it's the journey. But sometimes that journey leads to someplace very special. From the LA Rider Vault, here is one of my favorite rides to nowhere. Nothing clears the head or eliminates my stress more than a little backroads riding on a Saturday morning. The wind in my face, the V-twin humming beneath me, and the sound of my tires on the pavement unwinds me quicker than a clock with a broken mainspring. Luckily, I don't have to go very far from my home in Baton Rouge to find a peaceful place to ride. This week, I chose some of my favorite roads in rural East Baton Rouge and West Feliciana parishes. Summer was almost over, the weather was a little cooler, and the traffic was rather light. Perfect ingredients for a ride to nowhere. As you know, my rides to nowhere always end up somewhere, and since I hadn't had a really good shrimp po' boy in quite a while, I pointed Red Ryder toward downtown Zachary, Louisiana, where my buddy Brent Kelly said I would find one of the best at a place called Cajun Catch. Cajun Catch is located just off the campus of Zachary High School on High Street. Its menu features all sorts of seafood platters, po' boys, and sandwiches. They also have hamburgers, chicken, and steaks too. By the way, Cajun Catch is also a boucherie with specialty meats and other delicacies ready for you to take home. But I had one thing on my mind and quickly ordered the overstuffed shrimp po' boy with a side of home-cooked onion rings as an appetizer. Those are really homemade onion rings. They're delicious. When my po' boy arrived, I realized I probably should have held up on the onion rings, however. Overstuffed is not only a great description of this shrimp po' boy, it also describes how you're going to feel after you eat it. That was excellent.
Corner of your mouth.
The bread is crisp and tasty, definitely New Orleans style. The lightly battered and fried shrimp melt in your mouth. It didn't take me long to realize I had reached shrimp po' boy nirvana. Yep, I have a new favorite, the overstuffed shrimp po' boy from Cajun Catch. I can't get all these shrimp in here. That's crazy. Yum, yum. Oh, wow, what a fabulous meal. And dinner tonight, thank goodness I brought my Ziploc bag. Thanks, Brent, for recommending this place. It was just a short ride to Zachary, and man, what fabulous food. And they also have dinners to take home. They have everything here, and the portions are just massive, which is, you know, what I love. Well, that's it for today, but the adventure continues next week. Same time, same station. Until then, I'm T.W. Robinson. We haven't been everywhere, but it's on our list. See you next week for another great edition of LA Rider.
LA Rider is brought to you by the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign, a 501c3 nonprofit organization exclusively dedicated to promoting motorcycle awareness and rider safety throughout Louisiana and the nation.
I didn't see him.
She just came out of nowhere.
Oh, God, what am I gonna do?
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
See us. Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
Save us.
Please, watch for motorcycles.
God bless chrome cowgirls like us.